Hi, I'm the lighting guy. And one of the things I get asked all the time is if I've got my existing fluorescent fittings, should I keep them when I want to install my LED tubes? It's a very good question, and most of the time I say absolutely. If your fittings aren't good nick, if they're not discolored, if they haven't gone through wear and tear, if the connector blocks are still good and they'll hold the LED tube in place, then I would say absolutely keep them. Remember, those fluorescent fittings are assets. You've paid something for them. They're already installed in your ceiling. So if you don't have to remove them, remember that putting in a new fitting or a new LED tube fitting is going to cost you the capital cost of actually buying it, and then it's also the cost of installing it. So that's the first off. If you can't keep it, keep it. Don't replace it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. One of the things you got to look at if you are thinking about replacing your fittings, and a lot of the fittings that are magnetic or that are very old, you're probably going to have to replace and put in a new LED tube fitting, is you've got to look at the dimensions. So remember, when guys are building buildings and contractors are pretty lazy. So they'll put in the fluorescent fitting and then they'll paint around it. Most LED tube fittings are actually quite a lot smaller than their fluorescent fitting counterparts because they don't have any internal components. There's no ballast, there's no starter or choke. They're basically just a big glorified plug. So you've got to check to see what the paint work is like underneath there. If you're going to remove that fluorescent fitting, you may actually have a bit of ceiling that has absolutely not a lick of paint on it. And that's going to add to your maintenance if you're going to put in new fittings. And just finally, a word about LED tube fittings. 95% of the time when we sell LED tube fittings, it's for a new installation, okay? It's not for the retrofit market. When you're installing a new LED tube fitting, most of them are lightweight, they're very cheap to buy, and they're literally plug and play because they've been wired for LED tube fittings. So I hope that's answered your questions about whether you should keep your fittings. I'm the lighting guy, and I hope this has helped.